Today I want to take a look at finding your excluded values when you have rational functions. So before we go about doing this, first of all, as soon as you hear rational functions, you should be thinking, oh, it's going to look like a fraction. Alright, so I've got an example down here, f of x equals 3x minus 7 over x minus 5. Okay, that's a rational function. Okay, it looks like a fraction. Alright, so particularly, we really have to pay attention to our excluded values on this, and that's because in a fraction like this, we cannot divide by 0. Alright, so, division by 0 is not allowed. You do this on your calculator. If you just take 4 divided by 0, when that bottom is 0, you're going to get an error on the calculator. Alright, it's just not allowed. Alright, now, usually they will walk you through finding excluded values on rational functions first, maybe in a textbook, and then they'll go on into the discussion of the domain. Alright, the reason you're finding your excluded values is because they're not in the domain of the function. Alright, and so that's kind of the purpose of just, when they just straightforward ask you find the excluded values, well, they're leading up to you determining the domain of a given function. Alright, now over here in the little box I've kind of summarized your method for finding excluded values when you have a rational function. Alright, if you've got a rational function, then all you need to do is set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. Alright, because then that number, if you plugged it back in, would make that denominator 0, which we cannot have, so that would be our excluded values. So I thought I'd work out a couple examples here. Alright, on this first one I've got f of x is equal to 3x minus 7 over x minus 5. Okay, if I follow my process here, I'm going to take that denominator and set it equal to 0. So x minus 5 equals 0. It's a nice little one-step equation. I can add 5 to both sides. So x is equal to 5, okay, when I solve this equation right here. But I'm really going to write this as x cannot equal 5. It is an excluded value from my domain. It's an excluded value because if I let x equals 5, I plug that back in there, I would get 0, which would be division by 0, and that's not allowed. So my excluded value here is going to be 5. Alright, second example here, just real quick. G of x is equal to 4x plus 6 over 2x plus 6. Alright, so I can take the denominator, set it equal to 0. So 2x plus 6 equals 0. Alright, again, just a two-step equation. Alright, I can subtract 6 from both sides. So 2x equals to negative 6. Divide both sides by 2. X is going to be equal to negative 3. Alright, if I let x equal to negative 3, then putting that back in, that would give me a denominator of 0, which I don't want. So my excluded values, x cannot equal negative 3 in this example. Alright, and we could do several more examples. They can have trinomials in the bottom, or just about anything, any type of polynomial there in that bottom of that rational function, and you can be asked to find excluded values, take it, set it equal to 0, and work on solving it. So just a nice short little summary of how you go about finding your excluded values of a rational function. Thanks for watching.